Gaming news today is all about big games on the horizon. First, both Wolverine and Venom games have some new info coming from a reliable source, but the order of when these games is going to release is not what you would expect. Second, another credible source has thoughts on, well, multiple sources actually have thoughts on potential GTA 6 delay, and this would be another one. This is going to likely shock fans, given that everybody said the newest GTA 6 release date was solid, because that's typically what happens when they finally give an exact date. Third, PlayStation is allegedly gearing up for something that will happen before Tokyo Game Show. The announcement should be happening any day now, and according to sources, it will be a good one from what we're hearing. So you're going to want to look for timestamps. Now, I am doing gameplay in the afternoon. I'm playing Borderlands 4, so those timestamps sometimes are a little bit late. If you skip to about an hour into the show, it's usually when I start trying to do those segments, or if you can scroll ahead and see whenever I put gameplay behind me, that's typically when I'm starting a segment, if that helps you get there before I have an opportunity to do the timestamps, okay? If I jump into gameplay, it's hard for me to do that right away. So if you're watching this past broadcast, you're looking for those timestamps, that might help you find those segments a little bit quicker. We are trying to add those as soon as possible. If you are not able to catch these live, make sure you hit the like button. Consider supporting the channel directly with a membership. We are trying to get to 600 people at Member Plus, so click join and pick the $6 member tier. That does get you into the green room, and it does get you into streams with my wife, morning coffee, any extra segments that we do. This is a fan-funded channel. We don't try to send you to like Patreon or anything like that. We've considered that. We'd rather not do that. We're trying to foster the support here on this platform, as well as over there on the Purple platform as well. If you've got Primes and want to use them, that is super helpful. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you're going through the ritual of pressing the like button. It looks like we're going to be getting an announcement any day now. More and more people are speaking about this alleged PlayStation State of Play or showcase. I believe Nate said, which he's usually very reliable and has very reliable information. He said that it should be happening next week. And this is obviously happening before Tokyo Game Show. Now, I could see them maybe trying to do something before Tokyo Game Show, because we know they like to do something before Summer Game Fest. And I know Tokyo Game Show is probably going to heavily focus on Ghosts of Yotei. I kept saying that I really didn't think PlayStation was going to be talking about a lot of their games and a lot of their other titles until Yotei had released. That's typically kind of how they handle things. That's typically what they do, is they sort of wait for whatever the next big thing is to come out, and then they'll start marketing and talking about the other games and talking about their other things. So I thought, well, they're going to wait, and they're going to want to let Yotei kind of get out the door, and then they'll start talking about Wolverine or Intergalactic or whatever else they have that they're able to talk about. According to Insider Gaming, the Wolverine game should have a trailer ready, like to either be at the next event or at the Game Awards. So from where I sit, that sounds to me like they're getting ready to kind of gear up to do some kind of a big event. There was some earlier chatter this year about how, the next big thing that, PlayStation is going to do is in September. We even had some of the insiders and some of the sources out there that get inside information. They were saying, PlayStation's not going to do anything until September. They're going to do nothing. Well, that ended up not being true. There was quite a bit of stuff from PlayStation as far as like events. They did something for Summer Game Fest. Then they did a State of Play for Borderlands. Then they did a State of Play for Yotei. So clearly they are doing stuff. But it did seem to point to some kind of a big event in September. So many people were thinking like maybe there was going to be a showcase. Maybe there was going to be some kind of a big thing, like maybe like a mid-gen thing. So I saw some gameplay of Ghost, and it's not particularly interesting, just my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect everybody to want to play it. I'm really looking forward to it. I've got to put finishing touches on my script for Tsushima. I got to the end roughly last night. It is long. And so I am going to do a fairly long video about Ghost of Tsushima before Yotei comes out. It really made me look forward to Yotei quite a bit. It seems like they're really ramping up the communication strategy, don't you think? It's possible that new leadership has different ideas, Lobo, because in the past, it felt like they very much believed in not saying anything until absolutely necessary. They also seemed to believe that they didn't really want to trot anything out until the next big thing was available. We kind of saw that this year. They refused to show anything about Yote significant until Death Stranding 2 was out. Once Death Stranding 2 was out, all of a sudden they were like, yeah, let's do a Yote State of Play. Remember, they kind of baited us with Yote at Summer Game Fest, and it was literally a commercial for the Yote State of Play, and I was not exactly happy about that, but to me, it seemed to fit the pattern. They're like, no, we have to let Death Stranding 2 come out. So, the coolest thing was the blood splatter. As soon as the others start doing it, they're done. Huh? I'm not sure what you mean. And Bumble Pants hits 3 years. And Han shot first, and so did you. First gifted member of the day comes from Joker Quinn. Thank you, Bumble Pants. And that puts us at 81. A nice 20 bomb to bring it home all the way to get us back on pace. We needed to end yesterday at 100 for that Friday night stream with Madam. We'll play some more Borderlands with you guys this Friday. The stretch goal is still available as well if you guys want a Saturday stream. I know sometimes people like to hang out with us on Saturdays. We do those as extra, pieces of content. No. This is going to be a potential another delay, Karmic. Another GTA 6 delay. Yeah, there's a potential another one coming from what we're hearing. There's a lot of chatter about it. It's not just one person. Really quickly, guys, as fast as we can, let's try to get those first 100 likes on the YouTube channel. So make sure and hit that thumbs up. And DK Beggar gifts a member as well. Another one of the single gifted kings around here. Thank you so much for doing that. We greatly appreciate you guys continuing to gift members and pay it forward. And then every 25, I owe one. I currently do owe one to YouTube. Gaming's in a beautiful place. I mean, there are so many games coming out that if a game comes out now, you're like, well, I guess I'm just going to add that to the backlog. I mean, that's kind of how it feels. I do owe you guys one. Awesemo with 29 months. Thank you so much. And I owe a member over here on YouTube. So many games for us to play. Yeah, I mean, basically right now, if something comes out and you're deep in the throes of a game, you're like, yeah, I'm going to have to just put that in the backlog. I can't play that right now. I mean, that is sort of how it feels right now. So, I just retweeted it. You just retweeted what? Have they made an announcement about the state of play or a showcase, or are you retweeting the... Yeah, Tom Henderson believes that he believes that GTA 6 is getting delayed. He's one of many. That feel that way. Borderlands is life right now. Borderlands is really, really fun, but I really do feel for the people that are dealing with the performance issues, because, man, it is... That, and again, considering they made the release date earlier, I think that kind of adds insult to injury. I kind of said that yesterday. Not really sure why they decided to push it out early, if they could have waited. Neo 3, you should play the first 2 before release. Yeah, I don't really have an interest in that right now. I've got so many other games I'm trying to play. What do you think Sony shows besides Wolverine? I could see them confirming the Venom game. I could see them trotting out this God of War Metroidvania. Somebody put it in the chat a little bit ago. Will you play God of War Metroidvania, or did Silksong ruin the genre for the time being? Silksong didn't ruin the genre of Metroidvania, because I would argue they built a Souls game more than a Metroidvania. I still love Metroidvanias. I mean, Shinobi was more of an action platformer with Metroidvania elements, and I loved it. I couldn't put it down. What's good, Brap? Yeah. We're supposed to be getting a deep dive of gameplay from Saros. Maybe it's this event as well. We're supposed to be seeing Saros gameplay sometime this year. That is what Housemark said. And thank you, Angry Pete, for 48 months in a VIP. That's 4 years. This is officially my second longest relationship ever. Well, thank you so much. Let me add you to the total over here. I appreciate it. Whenever this number over here goes up from renewals, it's just such a testimony to how much you guys support the channel. So if you've never done a membership before on YouTube, try it out for a month. It's $6, you know, for the cost of a cup of coffee. For the whole month, you get into the Discord and extra content. Not playing Borderlands 4 because the EULA for Borderlands 4 has invasive spyware for PC. I'm pretty sure they came out and spoke to that. I think people, I didn't go and look into that, but I saw that they responded, that people largely overreacted. I don't know if it was any different than any other EULA that's out there. What particularly was it that made people say, "Oh, I'm not buying that game"? Because I thought the Gearbox spoke to that and said that it was not what people were saying that it was. Hoping for Silent Hill 1 remake trailer at the State of Play. Yeah, I think Saros gameplay is a pretty good guess. That's what I would think. I think GTA 6 runs the risk of burning some good faith if there's another delay. Here's what doesn't make sense. Oh, is it a Take-Two thing? Didn't they roll out changes earlier in one of their sports games? And did that change also then get baked into the same one that you have to agree to for Borderlands? I totally agree. So many games are avoiding May 26. GTA 6 delayed a lot of games. They'll have egg on their face. People, I mean, that game's so disruptive. That game is so disruptive if GTA gets delayed again. Absolutely. They already messed with the calendar. They already made people breathe a sigh of relief, but also say, well, now what are we going to do? You know? Neo 3 is going to take over. Take over what? What do you mean? No, it's good, Johnny. Always, how are you? It's like when Randy Pitchford said only 1% are reporting problems. I have problems and don't go out of my way to report them right away. I don't go on social media to complain. Well, I think the thing in Borderlands 4's corner is that the Steam charts continue to hold pretty strong. Now, obviously, it's going to slow down once you're out of the weekend. So currently, there's 162,000 people playing. In the last 24 hours, they were at 228. So just within the last 24 hours, they were at 250,000 players. Now, obviously, if that continues to fall, that would mean that people, and if it doesn't recover, that would mean people are like quitting in droves because of the performance issues. So, people just need to say F GTA, we're releasing when we're releasing at this point. Yeah, I'm not really sure why they even picked a date. I'm not really sure why they did. They didn't even try to squeak into this fiscal year with May, so I didn't really understand why they even picked one. Maybe they wanted to make it clear. Again, I think they were. It's possible they were more concerned with shareholders. They wanted shareholders to be like, oh, they're not giving us a generic date, but also I think they wanted the shareholders to know that the game was falling out of the fiscal year. I don't think they picked May because they thought May was a particularly strong month to release a game in. I think they were making sure that the shareholders knew this game is now falling out of this fiscal period. If they would have just thrown out a 2026 date, then a lot of the shareholders could have been like, well, does that mean it's landing first quarter, which would then be in this fiscal period? We're anticipating a pretty high revenue, influx from this game. So does that make sense? Like, I'm wondering if that's why they picked May. I think Intergalactic has a chance to be the more substantive game. Is the PS5 Pro worth it? I mean, it depends on who's asking and what you're looking for. For some people, it wouldn't be worth it. For others, it would. It would depend on what your current setup is, what you're looking to play, what have you already played. Do you own, what kind of a PC do you own? Do you own a PC? Do you own other consoles? Like, it's everybody's got sort of like a different way of approaching whether or not something like that's worth buying. Super close to 100 likes, guys. Thank you already. We're only 15 minutes into the broadcast. You guys are crushing it. Thank you so much. Check your primes. Check your renewals as well. Most like 25% of players buy GTA, leaving 75% of the others looking for something else. You bought one for Space Marine 2? Yeah, I have thoroughly enjoyed my Pro. The fact that I know I'm gliding over some of the more glaring frustrations, on console, on Borderlands on my Pro, is certainly nice. Obviously, my PC is stronger, but that doesn't determine where I play. And a 10 bomb comes in from Siryu, one of the regular bomb droppers here now. Siryu has taken up the mantle, and we are now at 94, and it's 20-12, taking the lead back from Twitch. 6 more, and I owe you guys a member, and then we'll be back on pace. We needed 100 yesterday. You need about 100 a day, and that's easy with all the renewals. You guys do so many renewals, man. Thank you so much for the continued support of the channel. I think a Pro is a silly waste of money. Now let me speak to you about my collection of GPUs, says Zubair. That's right. It's not just about current performance. The Pro is looking like it will get better next year. This is true. I think that's the other thing to consider is that, you know, the PSSR is getting updated with like the FSR4 algorithm next year. They're going to be bringing it over and updating and making it improve. So, yeah. My thought would be that if I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, PSSR. My thought would be that if they're continuing to improve that, then games will perform better. Games will get better. It'll be easier to implement. We do know there were some companies that had some trouble with PSSR implementation, and obviously you don't want that. You don't want somebody trotting out a game and being like, "Hey, we added, PS5 Pro enhancements," and it's like, did you? Yeah, you want them to be actually helping the game, not making them worse. There were a couple that didn't do a good job. Oh no, another GTA delay. They've been working on this game for like 20 years. Yes, they've been working on the game for a really long time. At this point, it sort of feels like, to me, it feels like they just shouldn't have said anything. If right now they would have just this year been like, yep, GTA 6 is going, GTA 6 is going to land in 2026, and that's all they said. Well, then they'd have a little bit of wiggle room. But then, they said 2025, then they said fall 2025, then they said, oops, sorry, now it's May. And it's like, well, you better stop this, or you're going to irritate people. And a 20 bomb comes in from Pathalon Phoenix. He said he was going to throw down the gauntlet, and he is. We have one of our gifted bomb droppers with us today, alongside of Siryu. A 10 bomb, now a 20 bomb. They're getting bigger each time. Pause. Thank you so much, Pathalon. Twitch, he told you what was going to happen. I guess you didn't believe him. Does that match? No, Pathalon has been a generous gifter for a very long time. He used to go back and forth with MASH. And a single comes in from from Stone Spire to top off Pathalon to put us a 10 bomb away from the next milestone. Jaster's going to come in and do one as well. If we get a 10 bomb now, it's an Agent of Chaos. Thank you so much. I owe you guys for the 100 milestone on YouTube. I'll owe you another one at 125. Whoever hits it gets it, though, Twitch. So now's your chance. And Kardoc Ren comes in with his own 10 bomb, and Pathalon does another 10 bomb. That's a tie. I'm going to give you guys both credit for it. I am. I'm giving you both credit for it. The 125, you both hit it. You both get credit. You both get a single. I think that's fair. When you guys do it that in conjunction, I'm not kidding you. They literally hit my feeds at the exact same time. So I'm going to gift one to each of you. Both platforms crushed it just now. I love it. Hilly says Twitch is back. Well, it's 52-22, so settle down there. Settle down there, Hilly. You're still behind by about 30, Hilly. He says Twitch is back. Get a little ahead of yourself. Is the GTA 6 delay confirmed? No, it is not confirmed, but there's enough insiders talking about it that I think it's extremely likely. We even have specific information about Act 5 or something, apparently, is giving them trouble. Twitch being behind by 30 is a good day. There you go. There you go. There, I gifted one to each platform. There you guys go. I love to pay it forward. I love to pay it back. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you're hitting like on YouTube. There's a lot to discuss. There's an imminent PlayStation State of Play or PlayStation Showcase announcement. Apparently, the Wolverine PS5 trailer is coming. There's also the chance we see Saros gameplay, God of War, Metroidvania, maybe some Wolverine. We're also hearing about, GTA 6 getting delayed. There's a lot to discuss. Pathlon is a dope name, actually. War Pathlon or Pathlon War? Which one? My beer is also delayed. It's... is it cold yet? Oh, it isn't cold yet. PlayStation has no games, no consoles, no nothing. Yeah, they have nothing. They have nothing. This is correct, yes. Definitely feels like it's time for the Saros gameplay. It would be weird, Eugene, for them to do a big event and to be like, here's Wolverine, and here's this, and here's the... And then, and to have Saros not be there and to make Saros go off and be by itself. The thumbnail title says GTA's delay. I can't find that info anywhere. It's just part of the topic. I can't be exhaustive in the title. So if you read the description, it has valuable information. We might see GTA 6 delayed again. We should see Wolverine PS5 trailer soon and also PlayStation State of Play announcement soon. So according to sources, we may be seeing it get delayed again. I can't put that in the title. I've only got so many characters to work with. So I just try to, buckshot the headlines of what we're talking about. And then down in the description, you get more. And then you come to the stream and you get more. I'm not trying to trick people. I think it is getting delayed again. Many insiders are saying it, and that's what we're talking about. What sources are these? Jason Schreier, Tom Henderson believes it's getting delayed. There's a reliable source that leaked the names of the main characters that he's heard. They're having trouble with the 5th act of the game. It's stuck in dev hell. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Yeah, Fuzzy went to Google and typed it, and there's a bunch of articles that are a day old about this very topic. So I'm not sure where you're searching. Did you type it in on a calculator or Google? Yeah, these are established folk. Yeah, Zuby. I don't run with some 4chan rumor or Twitter rumor. When I saw this many insiders weighing in, it was a notable insider, Jason Schreier said something, Tommy Henderson said something, and then somebody who's gotten elements of the game correct in the past was yeah, I'm hearing that Act 5 is in development hell. So, will we see fair games? Hopefully not. It sounds like a lost cause, in my opinion. When do I think the State of Play will be announced? If it's next week, it'll get announced before Friday. So today, Wednesday or Thursday. I would think today. Yeah. I don't know when they typically announce their things. It's usually, I feel like it's usually a week before. The search function on the Texas Instruments leaves something to be desired. It's cooked. Yeah, that might be why they couldn't find it. I assume Marathon won't be there. The speculation from people that were talking about a new PlayStation State of Play or a new PlayStation Showcase was that Marathon would be there. I don't know why you would include Marathon in anything right now. The game is just so tarnished. Do you think there'll ever be a Destiny 3? I think that's Bungie's only hope. I think that's their only hope. I think you've got to get PlayStation to fund it, restructure the studio, and get to work and just say, listen, we can't support Destiny 2 after this date. Destiny 2 is just going to cycle through seasons, and we're not going to be adding any new content. They can no longer be financially dependent on Destiny. They need to move on. And Marathon is not going to generate enough revenue for them. Marathon's going to crash and burn. There's literally no way that game makes it. There's no way. There's no way that game makes it or makes enough money to support them. Destiny's in its worst state that it's probably ever been. I do not think it recovers. I don't. I think the Star Wars thing, I think the Renegades thing is going to be a literal flash in the pan. It's going to be a bottle rocket of hey, it's fun to be in the game again. A week later, everyone's going to say, yeah, the game still sucks. And they're going to move on. You can't be financially dependent on Destiny 2 anymore. It's on its way out. If Marathon will be there, does that mean that this is the first state of plagiarism. Oh, shut the frick up, Fuzzy. Discord wrapped plagiarism to be on the bottom line all by itself, so I totally didn't see that coming. You son of a gun! I didn't even see it. It's literally wrapped. I have to snip that. You have to be able to see like how literally perfect this was. Okay, this is quite literally the most perfect way of anything that I've ever seen of a joke. I can't click. It's not letting me snip it. Hopefully I'm not messing with my stream right now. I probably am. Yeah, it's not letting me snip it. Did that mess with the stream? It like makes my screen go gray whenever I do that, whenever I'm using the snipping tool. That was freaking terrible. Hopefully it didn't mess with the stream. See? It just perfectly wrapped it. It's perfect. Anyways, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about a lot. There's a lot going on right now. Potential state of play getting announced, or PlayStation Showcase. I don't know. Wolverine PS5 trailer could be there. The Venom game could be there. I remember the days when Destiny was wrapped in mystery. Logging each day was so good. Miss those days. Hope they nail it with D3. Yeah, I mean, I think there is an awful lot of coincidences with when they kind of started to lose their way. You know, I think they lost their way when they started doing stuff that had nothing to do with the game. And it coincidentally started in 2020. So I just think that whole rubber band is just snapping back on them, you know, right now. Venom won't be there. It's a 2027 game. I don't agree with you. You could be right. I don't agree with your logic, and I'm going to explain why I don't agree with your logic. They have shown they're willing to do an announcement trailer for a game that's like 2 years away. They did it with Intergalactic. They did it with Spider-Man 2. They really did it with Wolverine. They don't have a problem doing an announcement trailer for a game that's like 1.5 to 2 years away. I mean, they did it with Saros. Well, no, I'm sorry. Saros was announced roughly a year. I'm thinking of Intergalactic. But they did it with Intergalactic. They've done it with some games. I don't think they mind doing that. They're okay to be like, hey, this thing is happening. This thing is real. And then it'll just be like a cinematic. So I don't think your logic tracks. You could still be correct, Star Slinger. You could be correct. I don't think your logic tracks with the pattern of how they've announced things. I think they're willing to announce things that far out. Who lost their way? Bungie. They did that because Naughty Dog needed to announce something. I don't agree with that. I think that's you're projecting. We have no idea. The length. I want you to think about the length of that trailer. That trailer was not like a hurry, put something together. You need to announce something. That was a lengthy trailer. I think the same studio is going to announce Wolverine and Venom at the same event. Like when they announced Spider-Man and Wolverine at the same event. I don't know. You could be correct. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't think your logic tracks given how they've announced things in the past. I think they've proven a willingness to do what you're saying they won't do. They literally announced Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine at the same event. They announced Intergalactic 2 years before it's going to come out. They announced Saros, probably 1.5 years before it comes out. They seem to be willing to do that. All I'm saying is I wouldn't expect Venom to be there. No, yeah, I don't think I have strong expectations for it being there. Yeah, Wolverine's already been announced. So Wolverine would be a gameplay trailer likely with a release date or a release window. Venom would just be an announcement. It would be like a 30-second thing confirming that it does in fact exist. Right? Like, they would be very different. Venom later makes sense to hype up Spider-Man 3. I agree with you. When is the next PlayStation State of Play? We are hearing that it's next week. I'd love it if Venom is there. I'm just not expecting it would be. It would be a nice surprise. Here's the reality, Star Slinger. if Venom is there, if the Venom game is at the PlayStation State of Play, it'll literally be the most non-exciting thing. It'll be just an announcement. It'll probably be like, you know, a narration of Tony Todd's voice, if they got him to record enough voice lines, and then maybe like a slow camera pan, and then they're going to confirm that they're making a Venom game. Like, that's all it's really going to be. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Next week, yeah, Nate the Hate said it's next week when somebody asked him. And a lot of chatter is circulating about it, that we're going to get an announcement like any day now. This has been building. If you guys remember, earlier this year, there were insiders reporting that PlayStation wasn't going to do anything until September. They weren't going to do anything in the summer. You know, they were just going to do some big thing in September. Then there were people saying they were gearing up for a big event in September. Like, multiple people were hearing things about the month of September specifically with regard to some kind of a PlayStation event. And so now, in the last week, we have heard from Insider Gaming. We are now hearing from Nate the Hate. We're now hearing from Okami. We're hearing from, a bunch of people who are kind of in the know that, like, yep, something's coming. There is an event coming. Now, the question people have is it a PlayStation State of Play or is it a PlayStation Showcase? And then there's Tokyo Game Show. I could see them doing a showcase. I don't know if they do them anymore, though. They seemingly just stopped doing them, and they only do State of Plays now. But if you're going to do a showcase, I think there's 2 times you do a showcase. You do a showcase to announce your next console and to kind of kick off that gen and to project strength, right? Whenever they announce the PlayStation 6, it will likely be a showcase, and they're going to project strength, right? They're going to have all these announcements, all these trailers, all these games to be like, this is going to be a system that you want to be on. Another time that I think you do a showcase is midway through the gen to basically bolster everyone's confidence in that second half, because this is when you're going to hit your stride. This is when you're going to be dropping games like Saros and Wolverine and Venom and Intergalactic and something from Santa Monica, right? Ghost of Yote is landing in, half of a month. So this is when you really say, hey, the pace is about to pick up, and I think that would be a good time to do it. There's also going to be Tokyo Game Show. So the way I see them doing this is that they could do a pretty big event next week, and then they go to Tokyo Game Show and primarily focus on Yote. They're going to want to make Yote sort of be, the standout game. Failed game Intergalactic. How can a game fail from a award-winning, highly respected studio that they've not had a fail yet? Like, what would make you think it's going to fail? Like, that doesn't make any sense. All we have is a trailer. That's all we have right now. If you guys haven't hit the like button yet, do me a favor and hit the like button. If you're tuning in, there's a lot to talk about. A potential GTA 6 delay, a potential State of Play from PlayStation, the Venom game apparently is real. Wolverine is coming, apparently, next year. Do you really want to play that game after the trailer? Yes, I do. I do. Why would you not want to play it? I've played plenty of games that the lead character doesn't look a thing like me or looks, disheveled or messed up. Like, one of my favorite games is Hellblade 1. Like, if Hellblade 1 dropped a trailer right now in this climate, people like you would be like, looks dumb, looks woke. And it's like, okay, it's one of my favorite games. So, what are you expecting? I'm expecting excellence, because that's what Naughty Dog delivers. Uncharted 4 came out 9 years ago, and people still talk about how it's ahead of its time. Last of Us Part 2 is one of the best games I've ever played, and I expected to not like it. It has one of the best combat systems in any game that I've ever played. The dynamic, emergent way that combat plays in that game is absolutely phenomenal. They're one of the most talented studios in existence. Because of the appearance of a character, immediately, getting all wound up about it and acting like it's going to fail, that's just such, superficial armchair. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it analysis. I would call it whatever the opposite of analysis is. Anybody who actually broke down that trailer could see there was so much more to it than what people were saying. It was ahead of its time in regard to its graphics. If you think that Uncharted 4 was ahead of its time only in graphics alone, then I think maybe we should just stop having this conversation. I don't think it's worth having. I think we should get back to the topic, because I don't think you're on even remotely a similar landscape to me. So we're not going to see eye to eye on any of this. You're free to think what you think, but I feel like this is going to be a waste of time to converse with you. You're 100% white. Tlu 2's combat doesn't get the respect it deserves. It doesn't. It's one of the most advanced combat systems I've ever interacted with. It's phenomenal. I think Intergalactic is going to be... I don't think Intergalactic will be at this event, though. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I don't think Intergalactic will be at this event. I think this event will focus on Wolverine, Venom, Saros, potentially the God of War Metroidvania that we've heard about, and Yote. Yeah. I don't think Intergalactic will be... Oh, is Dying for a Phone playing right now? It's my daughter's song. Can't wait for Saros. I got hooked again. I got hooked again by Returnal, and I showed you guys some Tower of Sisyphus a couple of nights ago on a Friday, just showing you kind of how I rock. You know, I rock with the Tower of Sisyphus for a fun little grind. Man, oh man! Like last night, Madam got all of her work done so that she could come downstairs so that we could play Borderlands. And I was like, "Oh, you're already done?" I was gonna play some Tower of Sisyphus while I waited for her, because then we were gonna play Borderlands together. But she's like, "No, I got everything done." I was like, "All right, let's get back into Borderlands, babe." Let's get back into Borderlands. You know what I mean? You want to get into The Last of Us writing? How's the TV show doing? Yeah, like I said, this isn't worth discussing, because now you're being bad faith and bringing up something that a lot of people have been heavily critical of. Fans of the game have been critical of Season 2, and it had nothing to do with Naughty Dog. I think that's why Druckmann walked. He's being real diplomatic, but I think that's why he walked. Returnal is so freaking amazing. Yeah, I am really excited to see Saros gameplay. I am extremely excited to see Saros gameplay. Like, can't wait. Yeah. The TV show broke from the story and fans are upset. Like, so to argue writing is hysterical to me. It's hysterical to me. Yeah. Intergalactic won't show up for another year. Yeah, I don't think Intergalactic will be there. I think they're going to focus on Wolverine. I bet you they announced Venom. I bet you we get a lot of Saros. I bet you there'll be a lot of Yote. Potentially this God of War game. You know, I don't know if they're going to call it a PlayStation Showcase. They'll probably just call it a PlayStation State of Play. Returnal is absolute shite, and that's not because I haven't finished it yet. Hilly has a love-hate relationship with Returnal. Yeah, how about Marathon? Yeah, people were saying that they think Marathon's going to be there, Lonely. I'm like, no, it's not. There's no way. I don't think Bungie... I'm sorry. I don't think PlayStation wants Bungie in the frame at all right now. They're restructuring the studio. Pete Parsons is gone. The last thing you want to do is trot out Marathon right now. I just think they're just done away with Showcase. I think State of Play, they're all State of Play now. When was last Showcase? Last Showcase was the middle of 2023. That was after 2 years of not doing one, and it was pretty criticized by fans. However, this is the interesting thing about that Showcase. Viewership was good, and revenue the following month was very strong for them. So I don't know. I tagged you in something on X related to GTA 6, and it looks convincing. Let me take a peek. Ghetto God. Based God. Let me look here. Ghetto God followed you. I don't see me being tagged in something. Did it turn out well done or not? Is this person claiming they have the game? This looks fake. I think this person has set up a very, very impressive video to Oh, I don't know. I'm not showing this. That looks real. Yeah, I'm not going to show that. That potentially could be the game. I don't know. At first, I thought maybe it was a really, really elaborate fake. It still could be a very elaborate fake. So what we're hearing, though, is that GTA 6 is going to get delayed again because their Act 5 of the game is in development hell, is what we're hearing. So, I don't know. If you guys don't like seeing those things that disrupt the show, I keep pausing them. Do me a favor. Hit the like button on YouTube. If you're on Twitch and you don't like them, use your Prime sub or sub to my channel and you'll never see them. I do my absolute best to sort of skate around these things so that we can just have a good show, okay? I do my best. Your support, your subs, your memberships really, really help with that. We don't have to do all that stuff. We're trying to mitigate that. So likes help, and then if you're on purple, you can get around them with just by subbing to the show. That showcase was absolute slop. I was extremely critical of that showcase back in 2023. But the interesting thing was viewership was good, and then revenue the following month for PlayStation was really strong. Like, I think it did its job. I don't think we've had this discussion very many times. I genuinely think that when PlayStation does a state of play or a showcase, I think their primary target audience are people that have no idea what first party is. They have no idea what third and second party is. They don't know what any of that stuff is. They don't. And so all they need is a laundry list of games that are coming. That's all they need. I think it's why PlayStation did the Borderlands state of play. Because they were like, well, it's a big game. It's a big game coming out. Attach it to our brand. And then what happens? Hardcore fans are like, this is stupid. Why are they doing a state of play with Borderlands? Have you seen the player numbers of Borderlands on Steam? That's why. They knew it was going to be a popular game and they wanted it associated with their brand and their platform. Greg says, AKA 99% of consumers. That's exactly right. I think like the vast majority of consumers have no freaking clue about any of this stuff. So when they walk out of state of play and they just show a bunch of games, the average consumer's like, there are so many games coming to PlayStation. They don't interpret it in the way that you do. They don't. Now, people will say, that's copium. I'm not coping. I don't like it. I would rather they have a regular presence of the first party studios. If to just say something, announce something, that's what I want. I'm not saying that I like that. I'm saying I think that's what the strategy is. I understand the strategy. Doesn't mean I like it. It's just what I think they're doing. By the way, as you guys are tuning in, man, thanks so much for a strong turnout today. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Let's see where everybody's coming from. I like to kind of see what's bringing people to the show and what you're interested in. If you haven't hit the like button yet, be sure to do that. Hit subscribe, and you can talk in my chat as well. Subscribing is totally free. And it's mostly GTA 6. So a lot of you are searching GTA 6. So if that's what's bringing you here, I'll run down the news on that shortly and kind of break everything down for you. We greatly appreciate you being here. You can join the conversation. Okay. For great hair, yes, that's another reason to support the channel is for my great hair. Different views is why I'm here. Even if you think I'm up for something, up to something, I think you meant to say. Everything's in the title. That's right. Give me state of plays like the last two ones. I'm good. I've always said I would prefer more events. Smaller events are fine. Congrats on getting verified. Yeah, Ginger, I did the face thing. They like it so they can detect if like your face is being used. And then when I did that, they verified me. I was like, well, thanks. I totally agree with you, Lono. I think it's going to be real hard to make a bad showcase, being that there are so many great games in development currently and ready to show off. The question is, will they do it? Check my question, says Khalid. Oh, did you use the question command, Khalid? Yeah, I see you. Hang on. Let me get this up here. Khaled says, wasn't Venom destroyed in the end of Spider-Man 2? What would the narrative be? Well, we have a leak about that. The leak about the fact that it's still being made also has story details, and it includes one Eddie Brock. So the symbiote is not destroyed. The symbiote, like, there's no Venom running around anymore, but the symbiote's still alive. It's, like, contained. I don't want to be spoiled. I mean, there's only a couple of people it could be, Lobo. We don't know, like, beginning, middle, and end. We just know from the rumors that, like, it's going to be Eddie Brock. I mean, I don't think that's a major spoiler. He was the most likely candidate. Oh, you're kidding around. I was like, come on. Hideki Kamiya says he believes development on the canceled Xbox game Scalebound could have been different if his studio had been working with a Japanese publisher due to perceived cultural differences in how development is viewed. That's not surprising. And Leviathaner drops a 5-bomb over here on Twitch and gets us to 141. It's going to jump to 142. Thank you so much. Who is that? Danny hits 41 months in a VIP on YouTube. So it's now 53 to 27. Purple is in the fight. They're here. We're 8 away from the next milestone. Thank you so much, Leviathaner, for that support. If you guys are paying for Amazon Prime, always double check your primes every single month on Purple. You got to do it manually, and it does support me. We slipped a little bit on sub points, and you guys are getting us back there. Thank you for that. And we need 20 more likes on YouTube. Appreciate you guys hitting that thumbs up. Yeah, make sure and say thank you if you get it gifted over here on Purple. You won't see the those pesky things that interrupt the show. You won't see those anymore whenever you're subbed to the channel. And a 10-bomb comes in from Pathalon Phoenix, and he says, the milestone is ours. 152. He is back and with a vengeance. 63 to 27. Purple, you're going to need one of your own heavy hitters today because Pathalon's swinging. Druckmann was writer in the show. Now he's making the game. You know, I don't know if you've caught on to what happened. We've all moved on, so you're going to have to do the same thing, please. Have you seen this guy who's growing symbiote from a meteor he found? Gotta be viral marketing for Venom. That can't be real. If only we had a Japanese publisher, they'd have been understanding that we took their money for Scalebound and used it on another game. Is that what happened? Joker Quinn gifts a member and gets us to 153. Thank you so much, Joker Quinn. It is now 64 to 27. Thank you so much. Notice to be sent by What's Good Raven. Scalebound was a turning point in the downfall. Yeah, I don't know. This man wants to be heard. Oh, that man wants to be heard? Yeah. I'm just not interested in debating that. Are you excited for Intergalactic? You already asked me that question. Why are you asking it again? Listen, you're just going to have to accept that I'm excited for something and have confidence in a studio and you don't. Let's just leave it at that. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no reason to debate this further. You were bringing points to the table that I felt were kind of coming from bad faith. There's no reason to continue this discussion. I do not agree with what people were saying about that game. Much of what those individuals were saying were misrepresenting other games as well. And Horizon sold 38 million copies. Spider-Man 2 was a gigantic success. AC Shadows was a gigantic success. Like, just move on. I mean, if you think it's going to be a failure because of what she looks like, people thought Last of Us Part 2 failed as well. 10 million copies sold. Druckmann said it was so successful they almost jumped into the third game. Like, we don't need to continue to deal in these delusions. There's just no reason to entertain them. You know? There just isn't. Which points did I make were bad faith? I'm not rehashing it with you. We've moved on. You need to do the same. Yo, good morning, Feed. Good to see you in the chat. Appreciate you. Here listening while working. Great content. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you guys enjoy the content, man, hit that like button. That helps out. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That way you never miss these shows. Listen, YouTube acts a little crazy, so if I'm ever not on your homepage, always check your subscriber feed. But hey, if you're a member, you should never miss anything because you should be in the Discord, and then you'll always get a little ching-a-ring when I go live. That's another great reason to be a member. After Claws of Awaji DLC, the next thing for Assassin's Creed is Mirage DLC. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, they're just plugging away. That's good. If anything, I can say that Spider-Man 2 is too short. Yeah, I thought Spider-Man 2 was fine. I thought my issue with Spider-Man 2 was I just thought the stuff they did with the story got a little, I don't know. The Mary Jane Wick missions were stupid. I thought some of the way they pace it was kind of, I don't know. It was a little campy for my taste, you know. And then Craven wasn't great. I don't know. I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it. I didn't dislike it. I didn't think it was as good as the first one. So I like Spider-Man 1 more. So. Howdy, howdy, hello. Good morning. Yeah, everybody hates that suit. We don't need to rehash the Miles suit that everybody hates. I thought it was fine, but that's okay. It's mostly paying for the Lego game. What? Isn't that co-op Lego game out right now? I think it got really good reviews. It's such a shame. Like, all these co-op games are coming out. Madam and I are deep in the throes. We're deep in the throes of Borderlands 4. I watch every morning on my way to school and listen in the car. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. We have a lot of people that listen and lurk. And, YouTube's been acting a little goofy for a couple of weeks. So we're a very, very consistent channel. So if I ever just kind of disappear, always make sure and check your subscriber feed instead of just the homepage. Also, these are great reasons to, follow me on Twitter. Hang out in my Discord, because those things will not let you down. YouTube will just decide to not show you my content for a while, and those are ways to guarantee you'll continue to see my stuff. I'm all about swinging in New York City if they nail that. My favorite part of Spider-Man 2 was the upgrades to Traversal. Traversal felt fantastic. It felt fantastic. Subscriber feed failed me today for morning coffee. I think they're dialing back how much members' content gets pushed out there because they completely overreacted. They were showing my members' content to people who weren't members, and they were unsubbing. Like, Charlie, Moist Critical talked about this. I think I'm hoping they're dialing that back. They went way too overboard with it. Yo, thank you, J-Dog, for the monthly refresh of your Prime over here on Purple, getting us to 154. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I was talking about Lego Voyagers being less than 4 hours at a $25 price. I mean, it's tough, right? Like, with the licensure of a Lego game, they probably couldn't have the price be too low. 20 to 25 I don't think is too bad. You're like, well, it's only 4 hours. I mean, it can't always be hours to dollars. Some games you're going to pay 20 for, and they're only going to be 4 or 5 hours. I mean, I think that's just, obviously you have to make that decision. If you think that that's not a fair deal, then don't buy it. But I think that's always going to be a challenge, especially when it's a licensed title, like a Lego title, or if we see something like I think the Horizon Lego game was honestly pretty short as well, and wasn't it like 20 or 30 bucks or something like that? It might have been 40. I did not see the new Lego Batman video drop. You know what I'm doing, Chris? I'm avoiding seeing anything about that game because it's not happening. It's so far away. It's so far away, and it looks so fun. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch anything about it. I'm just, Madam and I will probably play the heck out of that one. Me and my kids, my son will probably play the heck out of it. We're enjoying Borderlands. Fair enough. Yeah. I loved Arkham Knight. Batman Arkham Knight was so fun. This looks like Lego Batman Arkham Knight. Like, it just looks so fun. So, yeah. If you guys are just tuning in, there's a lot going on in the news. We're going to cover shortly. I'm going to kind of break down each segment. One of those things is GTA 6 delayed. Maybe again, a lot of sources are saying that it's coming. There was also, and a lot of, murmurs, whispers, rumors about a PlayStation State of Play or a PlayStation Showcase that could be announced any moment, sometime today. There's also apparently at this State of Play or Showcase, we're hearing that Wolverine will be there. Let's see here. Likeness detection in studio. Creators can now see and manage how their likeness is used. Yeah, I'm getting pings of people using my content. Yeah, I just archive it. I don't care. I'm like, unless obviously they're doing something like with AI to make me say something I didn't say, then that would be different. I would request a takedown on that. You can't misrepresent somebody in their likeness. But yeah, I just archive them. I'm like, that's fine. Well, I'm going to platinum Lego Batman and get all the gold bricks. No, I'm not. I promise I will not do that. It'd be tempting, though. It'd be tempting. I'll tell you that much. It looks like a really, really fun time. You think there'll be more than one enemy type intergalactic beside the robots? Oh, I mean, I would assume that we don't know almost anything. So I think it's tough to say. But I would say that likely there's going to be more than one. I mean, maybe they will all be robotic, but I don't think they're all going to be like that one guy that they showed. That would be a bit weird. I don't know any game that typically does that. I mean, I think there was some criticism about that in Hell Is Us. People were saying enemy variety was a little bit lacking in Hell Is Us, but overall people seemed to enjoy it. Combat was seemingly, from what people were saying, the weakest part of Hell Is Us, and that was the thing that I didn't like in the demo, was the combat. So it's kind of not surprising that that's how things turned out. But lack of enemy variety is, I don't know. I feel like that's a rarity for a game to be like, yeah, it's just this one thing. You fight this the whole time. That would be kind of odd. You think we'll ever get this get a Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse game? I think with the technology that they leveraged in Ratchet and Clank, and they did a little bit of this in Spider-Man 2. They did a little bit of this in Spider-Man 2. But I felt like they were going to do that in the third game. Like, that's how they were going to ratchet up the game. That's how they were going to leave New York. Because I don't know if you're going to want to do a third Spider-Man in New York City. I think that's how they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to take you somewhere else, and they'll use the Spider-Verse to do it. Now, the bones of New York could still be there to maybe help development, but with the Spider-Verse, it'll be very, very different, because you'll be hopping around. Maybe you'll even be playing as multiple Spider-Men, Spider-Gwen, and all the different ones. Super Gaming with 36 months. It's a VIP. 3 years. I just got married over the weekend. Good times. Yo, congrats on the marriage. 155. We are exactly a 20 bomb away from the next milestone. This is your chance, Twitch. This is your chance. These are the easier steals. 20 bombs or less often, all right? Captain Toasty Buns with 44 months on a gifted member. Welcome back, Captain Toasty Buns. We did get Silk Tees at the end of Spider-Man 2. That is true. I'm not super up on Spider-Man lore in the comics. Like, as a kid, we couldn't really afford the comics, so I was always, like, borrowing them from friends or, having to go to the comic book store and, like, buy the $1 comics. So I'm not up on the lore. What does Silk point to if they're going to include them? Ratchet up the game. That's right, Trill. That's right. I'm a man of many talents, and wordplay is certainly one of those. Silk is a new character. Silk's from the 2010s. Does it point to any Spider-Verse anything? I mean, I still think they could do Spider-Verse even if they decide that Silk's going to be a character. Yeah, the Black Cat teleports Spider-Man to Antarctica. Yes. That to me pointed to like, yeah, we might be doing some Spider-Verse hopping in the next game. Quick, insult Lono so he doesn't bombard us with puns. Don't let him think he's good at it. I don't think I'm good at puns. I know that I'm good at puns. I'm a dad, okay? We've officially got a whole club, okay? So you know, that's you're competing with the best. I'm not just a dad either, you know. I'm in my 40s. That helps. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Spider-Man where you can play as Peter and have mini games like Yakuza. I object, Your Honor. The witness has lost his mind. I just don't see why they need to oversell Silk Song. It's a good game, yeah, but it's not on par with an amazing side-scroller like Castlevania Metroid. What do you mean? Who's overselling it? It's been insanely successful. What are you talking about? Who's overselling it? Now, the fans might be a little crazy. A little. I don't think they're overselling it. Team Cherry was like, yeah, here's our game. They're like, yeah, it's really hard. Yeah. Like 250,000 people are probably playing it right now. I mean, I don't the commercial success of that game is undeniable. I don't think anybody's overselling it. You know, I would, if they got rid of runbacks, I'd be right back in there. I was loving it. I loved how hard the fights were. I thought the fights were awesome. I don't know. Sean says Silk points more towards Spider-Verse, but mind you, Miles Morales was also an Ultimate Universe Spider-Man, but now he's part of the main universe from what I read in the Secret Wars 2. Huh. Well, there you go. I'm playing tonight after my daughter goes to bed. Don't scream too loud, you know. Don't want to wake him up. Don't want to wake your kiddos up. B. Carter is legit with 26 months of membership says, I'm starting to fall out of love with my gaming hobby. I'm not even excited about the new stuff that's coming from PlayStation. Not sure what changed. Well, I think anytime you're in a funk with gaming, the best thing to do is to not force it. Just take a break. You know what I mean? Watch some shows, watch some movies, read some books. There's got to be some stuff that, you know, you've been wanting to get into. You know, go for a walk. You know, sometimes it takes the right game to get you back in. You know, maybe you burned yourself out in a live service game and you just need a break. Yeah, I know for a fact people did that with Destiny, and it made it hard for them to enjoy anything. Thank you guys for 200 likes on YouTube. We're talking about a lot. There's GTA 6, a potential GTA 6 delay. I'll be talking about that here in a moment. Potential PlayStation State of Play. And people are just kind of bringing up different things going on in gaming news. I don't know, Spider-Man just doesn't do it for me since Ultimate Spider-Man. Yeah, I just like the games. You know, I've always liked Spidey. And my kids like Spidey. So, Destiny ruined me on single-player games for a bit. Yeah, sometimes you just need a break. You know. You know. I was like that. I switched from console to PC and learned mouse and keyboard, and it was a whole new world. Yeah, that can add to it as well, just playing on something else. A new Yote trailer dropped. Is it another, like, really short weapon trailer, or is it like an actual trailer? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Their weapon trailers were fine. They were fine. I wasn't like super excited. 1,000 blades. All right, so this is a minute and a half. Let's check this out. Let's check this out, boys. Let me see here. Let's turn that off. Let me pull down here. All right, let's pause my music. Can I just say that he knew she didn't die from that? Like, what are we doing here? I think that might be our first clue into the depth of this story, right? He had to know that he stabbed her in the shoulder. So you have an expert warrior / assassin / killer, and he's like, yeah, I just stabbed her in the shoulder. That'll do the trick. Woo! Listen, I'm here to tell you, writing my script for the Ghost of Tsushima video that I'm working on, when people say that this game doesn't look any different or doesn't look any better than Ghost of Tsushima, they haven't looked at Ghost of Tsushima in a long time. This game looks miles better. Go back and watch the cinematics from Ghost of Tsushima and you'll see. It looked amazing for its time and still looks amazing, but this game is a huge step up. I call BS. It does not look miles better, but obviously, but not by miles. You can't call BS on an opinion. You can disagree with it. Trust me. I just watched a supercut of Ghost of Tsushima 1. I'm sorry, Ghost of Tsushima versus Yote. This is a huge step up. Huge. Go look at the character models, go look at the scenes like Jin and his uncle, and then look at the cinematics in this game. It's a big step up. It's a big step up in like the details in their faces, the world, just that spot right there at the end with the snow. Come on, man. Go watch a supercut of Tsushima. You'll see what I'm talking about. They're really being careful about the marketing art there. Most of those scenes. Yeah. I think that based on the interview that we covered yesterday, like as far as like the story, I think they're keeping things from us. That's what I think. They're definitely keeping things from us because like he's like, oh, it starts out as a story about revenge. Like I don't think it's gonna stay there because I don't think that's a great. I don't think that's not on par with like Tsushima's storytelling is an absolute work of art. I really can't wait to share that video with you guys. It's gonna be long. It's gonna be like an hour-long video. And I'm here to tell you, as I've been doing it, it's made me a little bit concerned for Yote. It's made me a little bit concerned. It's like, man, I hope Yote is not just some cliche revenge story because that'll be a huge step down from Tsushima. So, make sure you guys are hitting the like button. And make sure you guys are, bringing up whatever you want to talk about in chat. All the different things, all the different topics, all the stuff going on in the news. Yeah, September 25th, review embargoes for Yote, yes. An hour long? Yeah, wow, listening to you talk for over an hour, I can't imagine doing that. I mean, outside of every day that I'm here, that's right. PlayStation needs this exclusive to be good. It'll be Game of the Year candidate. I mean, Death Stranding 2 was good, and it's probably a Game of the Year candidate. It's one of their strongest exclusives probably to date. Lost Soul Aside obviously was bad. I mean, it did not land well at all. Why is my picture quality maxed at 480? What? Your picture quality should not be maxed at 480. Yeah, I'm all the way at 1440. I don't know what you're watching on or what you're doing, but I can go to 1440. I just pulled up the stream. I'm more excited for Sorrow's gameplay. Yeah, both games are definitely competing for my excitement. Like, both Yote and Sorrows, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, whew. They're both competing for my excitement. Because I love both games. If they're on mobile, there's a setting that locks it off of Wi-Fi. You could be on mobile and on cellular. Yeah, that's also possible. Yeah. If you're not able to get past the 480. Jarvis, type skill issue. That's right. It's a skill issue. Not being able to watch. These clips of I Show Speed finding siblings, it's too much. I can't. It's too much. I love Speed. It is just ridiculous. My gaming loss next year. Exodus, Dark Heresy, Pragmata, Iron Man, Injustice 3, Wolverine, Zero Company, Rise of Hydra, Lords of the Fallen. Oh yeah, there's so many games coming. My wallet will die. It's just too many. There's too many games, boys. Terminator needs to hurry up. Xbox players can't make fun of PlayStation exclusives after Yote comes out. There's no reason to listen to anybody making fun of exclusives. You know, the last 12 months have been great for everybody. Like, there's no reason for any of that anymore. Like, it's just silliness. Yeah, Phantom Blade Zero. Looking very, very good. I may put off Yote since it's going to cost me $780 to play, plus the stand. Zubair. I was like, why would you put off playing? You're like, yeah, it's going to cost me $780 to play it. Would love to get another look at Turok. Yeah, Turok's one of those ones, man. It's so far away, it feels like, right? Or is Turok coming next year? I can't even remember. Yeah, that's one that, I don't know. I feel like a Turok game could go either way. You know? If you guys are enjoying the show, enjoying the content, I just paused those pesky things. Sorry about that. Make sure you're hitting the like button. I think Death Stranding 2 might fall out of Game of the Year with Blueprints, 33, Silk Song, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Donkey Kong. No. Kojima's not going to slip out of the nomination. There's no way. If anything, Silk Song gets nominated. I'm sorry. If anything, I think Death Stranding 2 gets a Game of the Year nom over Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kojima pulls. He pulls. I highly doubt he gets snubbed from the noms. Yeah, there's also Hades 2 coming, yeah. DK and Blueprints won't be nominated. Nintendo is really, really hard to beat. Like, they're almost up there every time they do something, whether it's Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Like, they're up there quite a bit. So I would say that DK is going to be tough to beat because of Nintendo. Kingdom Come Deliverance? Yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I don't know if it's going to get up there. I just don't know. I think with time, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve it, by the way. I'm just making predictions based off of how the jury's going to vote. Because I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 definitely deserves the nomination. It was a game at excellent quality. You know, so much depth, so much going on. But for Death Stranding 2 to not get a nomination would be shocking. It would be shocking for Kojima to get passed over. I would think Blueprints ends up getting passed over because of Expedition 33 and Silk Song. I think Expedition 33 and Silk Song, those two titles in particular, are going to make it really hard for Blueprints to be up there. I think Blueprints will get noms in other categories, but the overall Game of the Year category, I don't think Blueprints will have enough votes to get up there with the rest of them. Yeah. Endgame for Blueprints was crazy. My wife and I enjoyed it, and then it was like, oh, this is going to take forever to get everything, and we kind of fell off with it. We weren't going to do like the whole get out a notebook and take notes thing. We enjoyed like working together and filling the map, and we had a really good time with it. But after a while, it was just like, yeah, no, I'm not. There was, and that's great. By the way, I'm not saying it's a negative, but for us, it was like, yeah, there's just too much here. Graphics, animation, technically impressive. Almost no bugs or glitches. The best mocap that we've ever seen. It's best in class in so many categories. Yeah, Death Stranding 2 is at a level of excellence in pretty much every category. Like, I have my criticism of his writing and the story, but overall, at a technical level, it doesn't make a misstep anywhere. The way the music works, the technicality of it, the mocap, all of it. It's an excellent game. Blueprints is the only game my wife ever played from start to finish with me. She was obsessed. It was a really fun social game to like sit and play with another person. It really was. I think Elijah Wood said he played the snot out of it. Like, he didn't look anything up. He got a notebook out and he was just figuring things out. Don't sleep on Hades 2. I mean, Hades 2 will be up there, but again, I don't think it's Expedition 33's year. It's their year. It doesn't have a broad enough appeal being fun. It's a beautiful piece of art, but I don't know if that's enough. Based on how the jury process works, I think Death Stranding 2 is a shoo-in. Its score alone will carry it into the nom, because most of the people voting are going to say that's one of the best games this year. I mean, look at its score. The score is indicative of what like review outlets and a lot of the people voting in the jury process thought about the game, that it's at an excellent level. So that's going to get it in there. Oh, you mean actually winning? Yeah, no, I don't think it can win. I think Expedition 33 has it locked in. I don't think anybody can beat Expedition 33. Yeah. It's their year. They are the Baldur's Gate 3 of this year. I don't think they're touchable. People are singing the praises of Silksong, sure, and the commercial success and the player numbers for Silksong are impressive. But I think when you really stack up Silksong against Expedition 33, it's not even a contest. Like, it isn't. Silksong is an amazing sequel. It's clearly a masterpiece from the way it's being treated. Expedition 33 is just leagues above it. It's like there's no the way that the one game over the other was received. I really do think it's their year. I don't think anything can beat them. I just don't think so. I think both Silksong and Expedition 33 are going to walk away with just a boatload of awards. Both of them. This year, if we had 10 games with noms, I think it would make sense. Is Kingdom Come Deliverance really rated that highly? Yes. It's one of the top scoring games this year, Zoob. Yeah. It is. It's one of the top scoring games this year. If you go all platforms this year, on OpenCritic, Kingdom Come Deliverance is right there with an 89. It's hanging out with Monhun Wilds, Blueprints. It's hanging out with Hollow Knight, Silksong. It's a point underneath Death Stranding 2, Split Fiction, Donkey Kong, Expedition 33, Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 Edition. Nintendo's going to steal it again. Just kidding. Yeah, it's Expedition 33's year. It is. Like, these, this obviously doesn't count. Zelda doesn't count. Get the frick out of here. This has got 7 reviews. Okay. So obviously this is great. It's awesome that it has such a great score, but it has 7 reviews. So it's never going to get enough votes. This has 195 reviews at a 92. I'm telling you, nothing is beating Expedition 33 this year. But Donkey Kong's got 154. It's got a score advantage. It's got a quantitative advantage. You look at all these other games, Monhun Wilds, Blueprints, all of them, Death Stranding, 161, 61 for Silksong, 96 for Blueprints, 196 for Monhun Wilds. I don't think Monhun Wilds will win, but that's heavy in its corner. And then 168 people have reviewed Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Almost 200 people have reviewed Expedition 33 on OpenCritic, and it's basically got the highest score of the year. Because I don't count a game with 7 reviews, and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 Edition has 10 reviews. Those don't freaking count. Expedition 33 is the highest rated game of the year with 195 reviews. That's insane. How did Silksong drop from a 92 to an 89 in one day? I don't know. I'm telling you, the fans of that game are going to fight and defend that game to the death. And actual critics and people that judge the game as it is are going to have criticisms. They're going to be like, They're going to. I mean, there's no way. The game has almost 40,000 negative reviews on Steam, so there's no way you're gonna have just like universal praise from the review outlets. There's gonna be plenty of review outlets, journalists, bloggers, whoever, that are gonna be like, I don't know. They're gonna think like I do, that they made some missteps that really hurts enjoyment. There's a 1 out of 100 review. Really? Somebody gave it a 1? That can't be real. That has to be a glitch. Skill song. Maybe some reviews were added. It had very few reviews beforehand. It's 89 on Xbox, 92 on PlayStation and PC. Yeah. That's great. The consumers are loving it, and that's honestly what counts. They're so financially set. Like, as a developer of 3 people, they're ridiculously set. They're so wealthy. Like, who gives a frick? Like, they don't freaking care. I wouldn't think. I wouldn't think that they care. Like, they are unbelievably set. Like, they could never spend all the money that they've made. I don't know. 3 people. The commercial success of Silksong. Come on. It's insane. I don't think they care if they get or don't get a Game of the Year. You know, they'll get nommed. Silksong will get nommed. I don't think it'll win. It should be renamed Soul Song. I find your lack of greed un-American and offensive. Game could have bombed, they'd still be fine. I mean, yeah, as far as like review outlets go and stuff, yeah, the score could have been terrible and it wouldn't matter. The number of copies they've sold is just absurd. It's when you have that many people playing on PC. I mean, good golly. When did Peak come out? Peak could be in one of like the offshoot categories, you know, breakout indie or something like that. Peak could certainly get some nominations. Peak's not going to get a Game of the Year nomination. Kojima's next game is OD. I believe so. The one he's doing with PlayStation is pretty far out. Yeah, the one that he's is pretty far out. How we get a year this strong? What's crazy too, Fuzzy, is that snapshot, you're still excluding like probably 6 other insanely strong titles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even fit them all on one picture. It's only 3 people. I think Hollow Knight have a lot of names on the end credits. They probably outsourced a lot of things, maybe like quality control and stuff. But yeah, Team Cherry is like 3 people. I don't know if they have like, maybe they hired, I'm not using this in a mean way, they possibly hired a bunch of underlings for, I don't know, testing or something, but I believe it was just 3 dudes. As a fan of AAA and indie games, I'm drowning. I'm perishing. What did Doom get in the end? I think it was mid to low 80s. It landed like as an 84 or something, 82. It didn't land poorly. It was fine. I liked it. I didn't like how it ended. I thought it started to feel more like Doom, and then at the end it stopped feeling like Doom. It got very parry-focused. The final boss fight I thought was just very, I don't know. I thought I was going to like the intersection of parries and in a shooter. I thought I was going to like it. I ended up not liking it that much. Like, I liked Doom. I had a good time with it. I didn't like how prominent parries were near the end. Was not a fan of that. It felt a little regressive. It didn't felt like it progressed the game in the right way. The soundtrack was incredibly mid. Yeah. They not having Mick Gordon hurts the game significantly. Is Doom 2016, I think you meant to say. Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal are both far and away better than Doom the Dark Ages. Out of the three, Doom the Dark Ages is easily the weakest of the three. It is. If you've never played them, then you would play Doom the Dark Ages first, then you would play Doom 2016, then you would play Doom Eternal, and it would feel like a good progression. It coming last, it feels very weak as a title. It would be a great first game. It's not a good third game. It would be a fantastic first game. But as a third game, it felt like a huge step backwards. Music wasn't as good. Speed of combat wasn't as good. Style of combat really changed. Yeah. In my mind, 2016, then Dark Ages, then all the way down here is Eternal. Really? Wow. I mean, that's surprising. I mean, everybody's got their preferences, you know. So it's like you rank it however you want. That's surprising that anybody would think Eternal is the worst of the three. We should go through these stories. We're going to start with Wolverine. We got some info here, boys. We got some info. Yeah. Let me, I'll put myself over here. Oh my goodness, what did I do? There we go. Okay. Okay. So when is Wolverine coming out? After leaks, hacks, rumors? That's the million-dollar question. And given how Insomniac nailed the feeling of Spider-Man swinging through New York City, capturing the feeling of Wolvie is certainly going to be a new challenge for them. It's actually one of my primary concerns about Wolverine gameplay. Like, how is it going to feel? Well, recent claims have pinpointed when the game should be releasing. And this actually lines up with the previous claims that were made about the project. So in case you missed it, Insider Gaming recently revealed that a soon-to-happen PlayStation event could very likely have a new Wolverine trailer. Now, this is because their sources didn't really indicate that the event was coming. They also indicated that the Wolverine trailer is ready. So if you've not been paying attention, there's been a lot of sort of whispers and rumors and rumblings about a PlayStation event. Like earlier in the year, it was like, oh, there's going to be something in September. Now we're hearing that there's going to be some type of a state of play or showcase before Tokyo Game Show. Okay, now if it's not at Tokyo Game Show, if it's not at the showcase or state of play, the new Wolverine trailer would then likely be at the Game Awards. Now this lines up with the new claims about the game's launch window. Now, I would expect PlayStation, if they're going to start any of the Wolverine marketing, they'll do it once they're ready to at least say, hey, the game's coming out within the next year. I don't think they want to come back out with another trailer since the first one was so long ago. I don't think they'll poke their head out with a Wolverine game trailer until they're ready to establish that release date. Now, pulling from Insider Gaming, so they're the ones that I pulled from on this, but they're actually pulling from MP First. This is what they say. A report by MP First states that sources familiar with the situation have informed them that Wolverine is on course for the 2026 release window. This same report actually had the same sources indicating that Venom is not canceled. Now, that's going to be a separate thing. Venom's in active development. It'll potentially be a later release than Wolverine. I'll do a separate video on that, because that to me is a little strange given how it seemed like we were in store for another like Miles Morales-sized game with a Venom game. Now, perhaps they were working on it. Something more came from it. Maybe they see it as a great precursor to Spider-Man 3, so that shifted the timeline. There were story details. I'll get into that in a separate video. For now, though, it seems like two things are true about Wolverine. Number one, we're going to see something very soon, hopefully gameplay, because those early leaks did look a little bit rough. This has been my main concern about Wolverine since the beginning. You know, you're going to have him kind of lumbering around like Kratos from God of War, but then he needs to be visceral and fast. He's going to have some kind of a health/healing mechanic. So I think we're going to see something very soon. If we do, I really do hope they are able to show gameplay, because I think that's going to be the thing to really bolster people's confidence, especially if it ends with some type of a release date. That's the second thing that I really think we can say we know for sure now, given so many sources speaking about this, is that this will likely be a 2026 release. I think it'll be a late 2026 release. We know later in the year is when they like doing some of the bigger titles like Ragnarok and Spider-Man, and in this case, Wolverine. Given Insomniac's track record, I really look forward to seeing how they approach this game. Like I said, they nailed Spider-Man 2, and that was something that was pivotal to Spider-Man in general. I mean, not just Spider-Man 2. That was something that was pivotal to Spider-Man. You had to feel like you were really swinging through the city in a good and feel good way, right? It just, everybody talked about that, and I really talked about that earlier as well, that like Spider-Man 2, the traversal really upped the ante, and I'm hoping they can do the same thing with Wolvie, because you got to nail the visceral, the fast, the grisly nature of his character. So my hope is when we get a look at this very, very soon, that it puts my concerns to rest. What do you think? Why does he have bruised knuckles? He's Wolverine. Those are not bruises. That's other people's blood. Like, you can tell he's not injured. These aren't cuts. He's literally bloodied his knuckles. He's bloodied his knuckles on other people. It's not his blood. Oh, that's perfectly good then. Thank you. Somebody thought those were bruises. Yeah, Zubair was probably looking at it from across the room or something. I don't know. Or blood from when the claws come out. No, I think that's blood from. I think it's the blood of his enemies. I think it's from punching and bludgeoning people's faces, with his knuckles. Yeah, that's what I think is going on. The barman ran out of the bar ran out of White Claw. Yeah, and he took that personal. Spider-Man 2 Venom gameplay only. Do we have like a Venom gameplay only video? Looks like we might. We just need him. For this next one. Oh, hang on. They've got a watermark on this one. Okay. We got another story for you here. Getting punched with adamantium knuckles that won't feel good. Yeah, I would imagine it would hurt real bad to get punched by Wolverine. Yeah. So he does not wash his hands. I mean, I think that's the ultimate controversy from the trailer, is that, Wolverine doesn't have good hygiene, I mean, I don't know about you, but if I beat the tar out of an entire bar of people, I think the first thing I would do is be like, this is gross. Like, we made s'mores last night. I get a little sticky marshmallow on my hands, and I got to wash my hands. I mean, other people's blood? Like, homie, I'd be in that bathroom like pronto, like looking like somebody getting ready to do surgery. He's not a germaphobe. Well, he has healing, so he doesn't need to be a germaphobe. You know what I mean? Somebody with COVID could sneeze in his face, and he'd be like, "That's fine." But sticky blood on your hands from other people? Like, come on, bro. That's nasty. That's just not cleanly, Cleanliness is next to godliness or something. Anyways, let's talk about Venom. Let's talk about Venom, boys. Let's see it. Let's see it. All right? Let's see it. So when are we going to see Venom? Is Venom canceled? Is it a real game? Is it not a real game? Are we only going to play as Venom in Spider-Man 2? Well, in case you missed it, after the Insomniac leak in 2023, it seemed like we were in store for a Venom game at some point. But as time went on, speculation started swirling that it wasn't coming, especially after Insomniac confirmed that Spider-Man 2 would not be receiving any DLC. But a recent report claimed not only that Wolverine was on pace for 2026, alongside claims that we're going to see Wolverine very soon at a September State of Play showcase or maybe the Game Awards, this source in this leak also claimed that Venom was in active production. Now, this was welcome news after claims that were made that, like, look, the game internally was canceled, which I just never made much sense to me. They built this entire movement model and animation set for Venom in Spider-Man 2. After the success of Miles Morales at a lower price point, a Venom game at $40 or $50 would be a slam dunk, especially after the reception of lower-priced games in the wake of $80 games sort of hitting the airwaves. Some of these lower-priced games, $20 for Silksong, $40 and $50 for some of these other major titles, a Venom game for $40 or $50 would be an easy win, I would think. But we didn't just get claims that the game was in active production. We also have story details. MP First has a reliable source that claimed the game was in development. But according to Insider Gaming, quote, a different source also provided MP First with story details for Marvel's Venom. However, they were unable to verify them. So listen, they did say in their report to take these details with a grain of salt. But understand, they have sources close to the project that they trust that this is in fact being made. Now, given that they got these claims in close succession, I feel this adds some credibility to the claims about the story. So this is from Insider Gaming here, kind of quoting the situation. They said, starting with the narrative claims of the Venom game, it appears that Eddie Brock, everybody's beloved Venom, will become the protagonist in the upcoming title. Anti-Venom will also be part of this game, but it isn't the one we saw Peter using in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Instead, it's a different, more frightening version, which will end up with Eddie Brock, who can retain his persona while using Anti-Venom. So there you have it. It's worth noting, however, that this game sounds like it will be coming after Wolverine, which is being slated for 2026. Now, that's a bit surprising. I kind of thought this was going to be an easy, they're not doing DLC, but what they're going to do is they're going to do like a, hey, here comes, our $40, $50 Venom game. Now, this could be a late PS5 title, though, serving as a great runway to Spider-Man 3, which could end up being a PlayStation 6 title. But for now, I think it's worth noting that they decided to not do DLC in Spider-Man 2. I think that was heavily related to how the DLC for Spider-Man 1 performed. Also, I think they looked at the performance of Miles Morales and said, we could do a smaller game for $40, $50 and do better than DLC, and people will feel like they got a great deal because they're not buying some additive story. They're buying an encased game, an encased story, and Venom just feels like an easy win. Like, obviously, we would hope that Tony Todd got enough voice lines recorded before he passed because he did such an exceptional job. I think it would be just unfortunate to roll out the game and to not have his voice. They'd have to use somebody else, or maybe they got permission, to have somebody impersonate or maybe use AI since he did such a phenomenal job. But as it stands right now, the Venom game is in production, and the same sources are saying it's not just in production, it's going to be Eddie Brock. So what do you think? Are we getting a Venom game? Are we not getting a Venom game? And if so, when is it showing up? So what do you guys think? Are we getting one? What's this thing? YouTube's rolling out the ability to do mid-stream to members-only streams. The feature will allow you to go live publicly. Then at a certain point, you can tell everyone that the rest of the stream is members-only and quickly transition to that. No, it's okay. That feature, they already rolled this out and tested this. It's the dumbest thing. I can't believe they rolled this out. If this is the thing that I tested, it's terrible and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't help. It doesn't. All it does is it literally clones your stream and redirects. That's all it does. It clones your stream and redirects. We did this. We tested this feature. It's no good unless they completely revamped it. They're going to be adding a dynamic segment, ad from creator, revenue kept by creator, change placement and sponsor anytime. That'll be great. I think this switch to members thing, we've done this before. Members only live stream new. Schedule your live to switch to members only. All it does is clone the stream that we're in now, and it sets it to members only. It's a worthless feature. I can already do that. I can schedule a stream right now and then redirect you to it. I don't know what YouTube's doing. I really don't. They continue to roll out features that don't even seem remotely in line with what's helpful to live streamers on their platform. I don't like the way that you stared at me intensely for 5 to 7 seconds there. You'll be okay, Sven. I want Eddie Brock as Venom. That's what I'm saying. Like, just give us the game, though. You know what I mean? All right, we got one on GTA 6. Let's do it. Let's do this up. Let's do this up, boys. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Even though assurances were made the first GTA 6 actually had a release window for the first time outside of fall, and even though there were more assurances made, like, well, we picked an exact date, and when they pick a long time date, I was told by long-standing fans that once Rockstar picks a date, then it's locked in, especially if it happens after an initial delay. Well, it seems another GTA 6 delay is inevitable. At least that's according to sources who are commonly getting inside information about this game, the releases, the leaks, okay? Now, we got an article from thegamer.com. They did a summary on this, okay? This is what they say. Prominent PlayStation leaguer Millie A claimed earlier this year in July that internal talks were suggesting a slip to September. Bloomberg's reporter Jason Schreier wrote that there is no guarantee that May 2026 is a sure thing. But the pain doesn't end there, okay? If you already carved out May of 2026 on the calendar, you may want to pump the brakes. More from the same article. GTA forums user GameRoll, who revealed Jason and Lucia's last names ahead of the second trailer, went as far as to say that, quote, Chapter 5 is in development hell, explaining why a delay might happen. So listen, that's a source with a decent track record, and that's a very specific claim. They're not just saying, oh yeah, it's getting delayed. They're saying, yeah, the actual fifth act of the game, Chapter 5, is in development hell. Now, Tom Henderson from Insider Gaming has also weighed in on the matter. While Millie A claimed that Rockstar is leaning towards a September release date, Henderson speculated that it may be pushed back to October, allowing the studio to capitalize on holiday sales while also positioning it closer to next gen and the eventual PC port. Now listen, it's hard for me to think that a close to holiday release date, it actually makes more sense than a May release window. I actually speculated this morning that the reason they picked the May release window, that was for the shareholders. They wanted the shareholders to know definitively that GTA 6 was now dropping out of the current fiscal period. However, on the other side of this coin, summer's a great time for big announcements and marketing. Rockstar could conceivably own the summer by not launching the game in the summer, if that makes sense. They could release images, gameplay, details constantly, leading all the way up, ramping up to an October release, if in fact Tom Henderson is correct. You would dominate the sales charts in one of the best quarters of the year for consumer spending. Now, I always thought the May release date was a bit of a weird choice. It's right before the showcase season. It's right before marketing ramps up for basically the rest of the gaming world. Now, you're not going to get overshadowed, your GTA 6, but squeezing it in right there before all that happens, it doesn't make any sense to me. They didn't even try to squeeze it into this fiscal period. They didn't try to hit, the first quarter of 2026. They just immediately admitted that it wouldn't even be landing there. It's landing, to me, in an awkward time of the gaming calendar, given how much happens in the summer. Either way you shake it, GTA 6 release date, it's become, in my opinion, a bit of a meme. I honestly don't really care much right now. Until this game is installable and playable, it's like there's no way to know when we're going to see this. There doesn't really seem to be a reason to bank on anything Rockstar says at this point. The publisher, Strauss Zelnick, CEO of the publisher, said they were very confident in the fall of 2025. Now we're hearing, we're very confident in the May date as well, May 26th, but that is seemingly going to move, according to sources that commonly have gotten things right about this game in particular. So if you're looking for that GTA 6 release date, you're trying to lock that in, you're trying to take time off, I would hold off until we get more firm information, and I'd love to know what you think. It hasn't been delayed. He's just assuming. Nobody said it was delayed. I'm not assuming anything. I'm reporting on what reliable sources have said. So now that we've corrected everything you just typed, maybe engage in the conversation. Multiple sources that have had reliable information have said this thing's heading toward delay. When it comes out in May, what are you going to say? I'm going to say tune in on that date when I play it. What are you going to say? Like, are you listening? Or are you just here to, like, be angry that it might get delayed? Multiple sources that have gotten things correct about this game are saying it's headed towards another delay. You got somebody who leaked the names of the two main characters saying Chapter 5 is in development hell. Dude, I'm not cheering for this thing to be delayed. Have you watched my content before? I was saying when they said fall, I was like, it's coming. They wouldn't be this confident. They wouldn't be this firm in their words to their shareholders. Like, you're not familiar with my content if you think I'm like somehow cheering for a delay of this game, brother. I was telling people that it was coming this year. I was like, dude, you wouldn't be that confident to your shareholders. And look what the frick they did. They delayed it anyway, after really giving assurances to the shareholders. I get around all your takes. This is your worst. This isn't a take. I don't have a take. I reported to you what people are saying. Are you this thick? Are you, again, I don't think you're listening. I don't have a take. I literally said, this is what a bunch of people said. It sounds like it's likely to get delayed again. Tom Henderson also said there would be crypto-related features in it. So which is it? Yeah, I feel like you're really huffing on copium. Like, you don't want it to be delayed, and you're like arguing against the possibility of it being delayed. All I have done is reported to you what multiple sources close to this thing have stated. This is not one person. There are plenty of people that have made claims about this game, and I don't boot up and talk about it. This was multiple sources all saying the same thing. One source said September, one source said Chapter 5's in development hell, another source speculated October, and then Jason Schreier Bloomberg's like, that's not even guaranteed. This game could slip again. That's all I'm saying. I don't have a take. I'm not cheering for the delay. I'm not saying it will be. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying these people have a good track record, and they're all saying this thing's probably headed to another delay. Pork Pie says, hey, Lono, been absent lately. Wanted you to know I'm still here. Had to go back to work full-time. Haven't had the mornings I used to. I moved my dad into care, giving home, and been going through it. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Pork Pie. That's tough. That's tough. We've had some recent developments with an older relative as well that we're having to deal with, man. It's just, those things are not fun. They are not fun. Takes means statement. He said it was my worst take. There's context there, Perfect Image. Don't try to educate me on what was stated. He said I had a worst take, meaning I had a take, I had an opinion that he felt was bad. I didn't really have one. And a 20 bomb comes in from Pork Pie, even in the thick of it. This guy secures the next milestone, and he secures it for Team Purple. For Team Purple. There it is. Putting them back in the fight, and I now owe Purple a member. You hit it. You hit the next milestone. Thank you, Pork Pie. Lono took something. Listen. I know that there are plenty of people that clickbait the frick out of GTA 6. I am not doing that. This was multiple sources saying the same thing, so I decided to run it as a segment. I was like, okay, this seems like something's going on here. When somebody who already got information correct about GTA 6 says Chapter 5's in development hell, and other different sources are saying this thing's getting delayed, I'm like, okay, this seems like something's going on. That I don't just every single time someone farts about GTA 6, I'm not making a video. No, there are channels that do that like religiously. We've barely touched GTA 6 in the last how many months? Just barely. Because I felt like we were starting to get yanked around. Even he was stating his opinion that GTA 6 would be delayed. That take would be pretty reasonable. Given everything that happened, yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Kind of funny, we'll probably talk about it, why they're... talk about it. Why are people giving you a hard time? It's newsworthy. It's just one person, and I'm defending the fact that I think this was coverable. That was my first thought, so I apologize. You're good. You're good. I know what happens. I'm gonna tell you what happens. You're a big fan of GTA 6. So what happens? YouTube feeds you videos constantly about the game, and you probably get freaking tired of YouTubers using that game to get you to click, and then they say nothing. I get it. And you thought that's what I was doing. It's like, nope. No, I've gone a far, far amount of time without covering. I felt like this was worthy of coverage. I don't know the last time we covered it. When was it? Let's look. There was new info on 60 FPS. We covered that in July. So, 2 months ago. Yeah, so it's been 2 months. And then prior to that, we covered it in May. Yeah. About it possibly getting delayed again. Yeah. So it's been a while. It's been a while. So. I'm not going to record this one, but I am going to do this one here. Let's see here. Here, we can just use this. This will be fine footage for this. I just want to make sure we have the timestamp so that people are looking for this news can find it. No, this won't work. This is like the God of War thing. We'll do Yote. Okay. Okay, this is just a quick one here, but this is worth mentioning. There are rumblings about a PlayStation event in September, and they actually started earlier this year. There were various claims that PlayStation wouldn't be doing anything until September, and that something big was coming, like a showcase-sized event or something was being planned for September. Now, obviously, they didn't get that right. There was a State of Play. They took part in Summer Game Fest. They did a Yote State of Play. They did a Borderlands State of Play, right? They did a lot. So that didn't end up being true, but it does seem like something is coming. Insider Gaming recently claimed to have reliable info that there was something that would be happening in September, like a State of Play or a showcase. Nate the Hate just said on Twitter today that it's next week. And so multiple sources now are also claiming that the event will be quite good. There's a tweet from Okami that says, quote, "We're most likely getting a State of Play or showcase next week before Tokyo Game Show. Announcement could be coming any day now. Should be a good one." And then he put like the eyes emoji. People that are close to this seem to think like this is going to be a pretty big event. I've been thinking a mid-gen showcase is kind of needed. You've really got to bolster confidence now that you've got a lot of games coming. You got Yote, you got Soros, you got Wolverine, you got Intergalactic. You just had Death Stranding 2. Like, the cadence and the quality should be picking up. That typically is what happens in the second half of a gen. If they've moved away from doing showcases and they just call it a State of Play, that's fine. I argued this morning. I think showcases can happen at two different times. Midway through a gen and when you're about to kick off the next one. So the next time we see a showcase will almost assuredly be when they decide to announce the PlayStation 6. But I also think a great time to do one is midway through the gen, which is where we are right now. So again, that was just a quick one for you. I didn't mean to pause the trailer. Sorry. This B-roll looks like it's on PC. It's not. It's PS5. I think PS5 Pro. Didn't they say all the footage in the Yote State of Play was captured on a PS5 Pro? I think that's what they said. So it's not a base PS5. Or is it? I can't remember. The people that went to preview events of Death Stranding 2, those were all on base PS5s. I remember that being kind of surprising. They were surprised on how good it looks. Somebody sitting here saying they directly said that about Sucker Punch and Yote. While Atsu's story begins with vengeance, she'll find there's more to her journey than just revenge in the blog post. They also said Atsu will meet unlikely allies and forge connections that help give her a new sense of purpose. My guess is that completing her vengeance won't actually help to ease the pain of loss. She'll be left with a sense of having no purpose because she lived solely for it. The people she forged connections with will help her actually heal and move forward while giving her a purpose. Right, she'll have the purpose of being like a warrior who protects others, which will be very similar to the way that Jin justified his choices as well. I want to come in here and give you a shout out for your W take regarding the Sucker Punch dev. I know you don't typically care, but wanted to give you props regardless. Yeah, I know people clipped it and were giving me props or whatever. I don't make content about that sort of thing, but it obviously came up. So this is like the recent news that the 50 series supercards that were never announced have been delayed. Where can I see that? I missed it. It was at the tail end of the Nintendo Switch Direct stream that I co-streamed. It's at the tail end. We got into a discussion about it. I don't know, 10 minutes. Skeeter, thank you so much for gifting a member. I appreciate it very, very much. Getting us to 177. Thank you. It's 67 to 48 on the day. Having a nice week, guys. Thank you very much. Try to get us to 300 likes on the old YouTube if you haven't done that yet. Being a CEO must be great to get paid millions to make promises that you don't deliver on. I know, right? Okay, you can be the CEO of Take-Two and be like, making all these assurances and like, yeah, it's definitely coming. We're very confident in that date. And we're like, no, we're not. You know? GTA 6 is delayed again. A lot of sources saying it will be. Skeeter gifted another one and got us to 178, and now we're at 179. Skeeter and Stonespire have the same idea. They're trying to tempt a 20 bomb to get us to the next big milestone, which will be 200. And there it is. Another single comes in from Stonespire. We are at 180. These guys had the same idea. Skeeter says, I was gone for 2 months, went back to school, somehow got 2 gifted, so I'm paying it forward. Well, thank you, Skeeter, for paying it forward with your 2 gifteds. 25 months. I appreciate it very, very much. We don't count the gifted celebrations in the total because that would be double dipping. Yours has already been counted when it was gifted to you, but I definitely did count your 2 singles. And you and Stonespire just worked together to set it up. We'll see if anybody takes the bait and drops a 20 bomb for the next milestone. Oh, that would put Purple right on the heels. This is your chance, Purple. What would they need to publicly announce another delay? They wouldn't need to. Yeah, fiscally, it wouldn't matter, Zoo. But like if it goes from May to October, it's landing in the same fiscal period. So I don't know. Maybe the month before. So like April, I think they do like an April earnings call. So that's probably, they would probably want to announce it before that earnings call. And then they would probably assure shareholders like it's a stronger quarter for sales anyway. It's the holidays. Manny Plays with 24 months. Thank you so much for renewing your membership, Manny. I appreciate it very, very much. If you guys on YouTube type !upgrade, you can consider upgrading your membership to Member Plus. We've got a long-standing goal on the channel to get 600 people there. If we get to 700 people at Member Plus, I have to get a platinum in Mind's Eye. So we're really throwing down the gauntlet. Now, it's almost noon. And I feel like if they're going to make the announcement, it would be at noon. YouTube Shorts is getting a series of AI updates. Edit with AI. Help edit your footage with AI. Add music, transitions, and voiceovers. Speech to song. Turn your dialogue into a song. VO3 in shorts. Turn any idea into a video with sound. Golly. Really? Yo, Biggie, I know that's a double dip. Biggie supports on both platforms, man. Thank you so much for using your Prime over there on Purple. 49. Inching it closer in the contest between the two platforms. You guys that pay for Amazon Prime, make sure. And there he is. Biggie over here as well. 28 months. 28 months. I knew it. I was like, this man supports on both platforms, and I greatly appreciate it. They would definitely want to announce the delay before they have a lot of marketing saying the May date. Example is Dying Light the Beast. It was moved ahead by 1 day, but since all the marketing says 9/19, they haven't changed any of the marketing. In other words, they want to be this. I think they're chasing a phantom. I think they need to trust. I think they need to trust the long form. I think the short form stuff is a fool's errand. I don't think it can properly be monetized. I don't think it does anything for the platform. You know? Well, noon is come and gone. I thought if they had something, they were going to schedule it for noon, if they were going to announce it. It could be tomorrow or the day after. I mean, they like to do shows on Wednesdays and Thursdays. It's going to be rough if they do it on Thursday because I coach on those nights. It'd be amazing if it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Or if it was early enough in the day that I could do it and then, yeah. And then still make it to practice. Be a bit of a bummer. It would be a bit of a bummer, but hey, you know, it's one of those things. If you guys haven't hit the like button on YouTube yet, hit the like button. We've covered a variety of things. PlayStation State of Play or a PlayStation Showcase. GTA 6 potentially getting delayed again. We also covered the Venom game. Wolverine PS5 trailer is apparently very soon. State of Play announcements next Monday, and the show is Wednesday the 24th. So you think they'll announce it Monday and the show will be Wednesday? Eric says thanks to Pork Pie for the gifted sub. I mean, I guess I could see that. Are you just guessing? That seems like you're taking an educated guess based on probably, you know, patterns in the past. Let's do... Hang on. I gotta... Oops. Oh my gosh. Do you ever go to save something and you copy it instead? You're right-clicking. It's the worst. And then it clears the thing that you need on your clipboard. Just me? Just me? Okay, yeah, just me. Okay. Hang on, this is not... Hang on. It's not the right summary anymore. Yeah, that's the right summary. Okay. We do want to continue working our way through Borderlands. I'm sadly, I guess it's not sadly. I'm having such a good time with the game. I'm doing a really, really bad job of moving quickly through the game. I don't know if we're gonna move the story along today or not. We will see, but we'll do that, later. We are gonna be doing that though. Nate said next week, and yes, patterns. Okay. Yeah, Nate did, in fact, say next week. Siege Master with 45 months says not too shabby. That's a lot of months. Thank you, sir. That is a lot of months. A lot of the reason that these numbers over here, man, keep going up, it's because you guys keep renewing, That is a huge, huge part of what we do here. And I appreciate it. Stupid fun, ruining my fun. That's right. Yeah, I am. I'm doing a bad job. I am doing a bad job of moving the game forward. That is for sure. That is for sure. Let me see if this restricted thing is still doing its. Yeah, it's still doing it. It's super weird. Like yesterday's stream published, and then it you can now see it unrestricted. I just scheduled the Borderlands 4 gameplay, and it's instantly can't see it. It's so weird. I didn't know us who got the deluxe edition of Dying Light 2 got Dying Light the Beast for free. That's one less game I got to pay for. That's not bad. Lona's like, I won't be quitting soon then, I guess. Thank you. That's right. Madam and I are not making progress in the story either. We're doing the same thing. We are continuing to just enjoy clearing the map. This article says Borderlands 4 does what Destiny couldn't. I'm finally back on the looter shooter train, and it feels like I'm reliving my 60 hours in Borderlands 2. I think on the surface, I kind of agree with that. I don't necessarily think it's like a comparison to Destiny thing, but it's definitely a, hey, this game's doing it. Like it's re-cemented itself as the looter shooter king. Opened up the second area in Borderlands 4, but there are still question marks on the map calling me like the Green Goblin mask. I know. Guessing Wednesday is like leaking that Sony will do a state of play next May or June. Yeah. Wednesday would just help me because I can skip church or even be kind of late to church. I can't do that for coaching. Like I'm literally the coach. Like I don't have an assistant that I could say, hey, could you take practice that night? For the girls I do. For my boys team I don't. YouTube is expanding collaborations globally over the next couple of weeks. This tool allows you to showcase up to 5 creators who collaborated on a video and may be shown to all audience for increased discovery. Oh, that's good. Yes, the Borderlands games have stories to them, and that was something that was kind of funny. Like my wife remarked, she's like, I don't really know what we're doing in the story. And I was like, babe, we're not really doing anything with the story. We just keep clearing the map. God forgives. Little League, on the other hand. It's true. It's true. It's true. The Lord will understand. Soccer moms, no. They would be like, where's Coach? Thursday is Tokyo Game Show, so it wouldn't be on Thursday. Oh, you're right. You're right. That'll actually help. But what time is the stuff going on with Tokyo Game Show in our time? Tokyo Game Show 2025 stream schedule. Is there a stream schedule available? It's not been fully released. It says here. Xbox is going to return, and they're going to go live. Yeah, this is the stuff that's all in the morning, 3 a.m. Pacific. Like, Xbox is doing stuff at like 7 p.m. JST, which is 3 a.m. Pacific, which is 6 a.m. Eastern. Okay. So anything going on at Tokyo Game Show, I should be able to cover because it'll be early in the day. Yeah. So that actually should be helpful. Prioritizing soccer over God sounds dangerously European to me. Look, man, people love their footy. You can't take it away from them. Yeah. The issue again is that I'm the only coach, so that is the issue. So it's just me. There's nobody else. The girls' team, we have an assistant. He's actually going to be out of town this week. So that should be fine though, because I'm actually used to coaching by myself. So it's been nice having an assistant, but I'm kind of used to coaching by myself. We don't call it soccer, we call it football. You're playing with your feet. Yeah, a lot of the world actually calls it soccer. Somewhat concerned. To your best of your knowledge, has your channel ever experienced an incident of impersonation? Yeah, I think it has. Which following aspect of your identity? Channel name, handle, avatar were all used. 100%. What actions have you taken? We reported the channel in question. Yeah. How long have you been a creator? 6 or more years. Okay. Thank you for your interest. There's no available slots. Well, then what'd you send me the email for? They just sent me the email for a potential research opportunity, one-on-one. And then I finished it, and they're like, "Yeah, there's no slots left." I'm like, "Wait, what?" You just sent the email. All right. Okie dokie. Japan also calls it soccer. It's a sport. It's popular as baseball, at least among the youth. It's the most watched, most played sport in the world. So, yep. Certainly good reasons to pay attention to it. Checking the news feeds here. Not seeing much in the way of anything like breaking. Nothing major going on just yet. We'll obviously check the feeds later today in order to book a show for tomorrow and kind of see what's going on. Why attend any World Cup games? No, I don't really probably have the time, resources, or money to do something like that. So I would love to, but that's just probably not in the cards. It's really, really difficult I didn't even get to see Superman in the theaters. Like, we're just so busy. It's hard to get a sitter, and the kids have soccer and everything else. Yeah, Insider Gaming now reporting that PlayStation has a state of play for next week's something. Nate the Hate says next week. So if I had to bet, yeah, it'll be Tuesday or Wednesday, right before Tokyo Game Show. We know they like to do their own thing. So yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I'll pause them. Diablo Dark Matter. If those pesky things pop up, you just let me know and I pause them. I'm getting Borderlands paralysis, says Sven. I've been enjoying Eamon, but I'm watching videos of Harlow, and man, I really want to re-roll now. Well, the best thing to remember, Sven, is that once you finish the campaign, you can create a new character, and they will start at level 30. So depending on how far you are, it may be better to just keep going. Yeah, if you're like a level 5 or 6, sure, yeah, start over. If you're level 18 or 19, keep going, You're not going to have to replay with every character, which I think is one of the best choices they made with Borderlands 4. I thought that was a great idea, to say, hey, you can just start a new character, level 30 instantly. That is such a good way of letting you just jump right back in, get right into that end game with a new character. Are you thinking of covering the release of Ash and Iron or Renegades for D2? Just to discuss the projection of the game in the studio. I haven't heard anything about the integration of Bungie into Sony. Harlow's the Siren. No, Harlow is not the Siren. Vex is the Siren. Harlow is like Harlow has abilities that are very similar to Maya from Borderlands 2. Yeah, she's like the gravity lady. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, Vaughn. Obviously, I've got some video ideas about Destiny. I just really... They're just not dying with dignity. It's like it's clear the game is entering its twilight years. And... Yeah, it's just really becoming a shell of its former self. People are really unhappy. I think people are going to be jazzed about Star Wars stuff, and then I think it'll fade about as quickly as it spins up. Yo, Dan with 26 months. Due to becoming a member, I have played more games. Starting Space Marine Remastered before playing Space Marine 2. Appreciate the channel. Well, thank you so much, Dan, for supporting the channel. We are now 15 members away from the next big milestone of 200 members, which would put us on pace for the week. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. You guys can help us hit these goals extremely fast just by upgrading on YouTube. Anybody who upgrades to Member Plus counts as 2. So... if you're like, man, I wouldn't mind bumping my membership up to the $6 membership, that is a huge help. And it gets you into the green room, it gets you into other content, and it supports the channel directly. What new PlayStation games are coming out soon? Yote is coming out in 2 weeks. Ghost of Yote, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, is coming out in 2 weeks. And then there's a PlayStation event next week from everything that we've heard, which will likely then be setting the stage for 2026 with Saros and Wolverine. Beyond that is, who knows? We know Intergalactic, Venom. There's a Metroidvania God of War apparently coming. $5 super chat from Manny Plays. Hey, Lona, have you tried No Man's Sky since the new Voyagers update? I'm loving it right now. No Man's Sky is one of the best games I don't have time for. My backlog's ridiculous. Like, I rolled credits on Shinobi and loved it. Went right into Silksong. Put Silksong down for my own preferences. I did not like the runbacks. I thought the challenges and the difficulty were great, but the runbacks were grating. And now I can't stop playing Borderlands 4 with Madam, and I'm going to be playing Borderlands 4 with you guys here in a moment. So, yeah, if I cloned myself 3 times, I might have somebody that could put the time in the No Man's Sky that it deserves. It's just such a great game. There's so much to it. I don't understand why it's going on such a downward spiral. I understand all that have happened with management and studio layoffs, but there seems to be no course correction or anything. Just a flaming crash without it stopping. And a 20 bomb from Pathalon Phoenix once again. This guy coming out of nowhere to secure the milestone. I owe you guys, I think I owe you guys like 3 members or something like that. I'll probably just give 5 once we get into gameplay, because I think I owe YouTube like 2 or 3 members or something like that. Thank you so much, Pathalon, for continuing to support the channel in such a big way. Matt's trying to summon the 50 bomb. My son calls them farty bombs. So that's why that's getting spammed in chat. Thank you so much, Matt, for doing that. Appreciate your efforts so much. And guys, a really easy way to support what we do here is to hit like. Try to get us to 300 likes before today's show is over. We're very close. We're only about 25 away. Lona, you're the man. Thank you, Rob. 31 months. And that was actually a really good setup by Pathalon. We are basically a 20 bomb away from the next milestone as well, which Twitch, you could swoop in and steal that and get us to 226. Don't let people jump in with you on Borderlands while you're playing. Oh, do I? I haven't been, no. I haven't been. I've just been kind of enjoying playing by myself. If we get to a spot where I feel like, yeah, I can't really do this, like a vault or something, I'm happy to let people jump in. I usually like to play through the campaign first, either with my wife or by myself. Once you're grinding for Legos, once you're grinding, vaults and stuff, then it makes sense to have people come in. That's just my view of it. I think anybody can play however they want. Sean with a month. Member Plus, first month, let's go. Where did the time go? Keep up the great work. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that, man. That Member Plus that you guys see people renewing, that is the big, gigantic thing that we're pushing. A lot of YouTubers are pushing Patreon, right? They're like, hey, YouTube's unreliable. YouTube's been bad, right? Support our Patreon. We try to make it very simple. It's here on the channel. It's here on the channel. It's a $6 membership, and you get into Green Room, morning coffee, streams with my wife, and the Discord. I'm just playing on normal Jamal. Legos doesn't make sense. That's just what people type. I never said that shorthand. It's just what people in the community type, so I just said it. Like I've always said legendaries, but grinding for Legos. I think they just it's just like a goofy colloquialism. I don't think they meant it to make sense. It's like saying that you're going to farm. It's like, I guess it kind of makes sense. Terms like grinding and farming, they kind of make sense in the context that they're used. Legos, obviously, you're not saying Legos like the building bricks. You never heard the term Legos? I've seen a lot of Borderlands folks tweeting and talking and saying Legos, like, farming for Legos, grinding for Legos. I'll just say legendary from here on out. I don't want to upset anybody. Will we hear anything about Bluepoint or Sony Bend or even Gorilla? Bluepoint and Bend, probably not, given what happened with their live service stuff getting canceled. So I'm going to say probably not. Gorilla, maybe. There's no O in the word. Is there an O in achievement? Because people say Chivos, like when people talk about achievements on Xbox, they'll say Chivos, like, oh no, my Chivos. Like, there's no O in achievement. It's like a nickname. Nicknames don't always, properly represent the word. It's not even phonetically correct. There's probably plenty of nicknames like that don't phonetically make sense. You've never heard Chivos? You've never heard Chivos. The first time I saw Chivos was in a Penny Arcade comic. Yeah. Randy Pitchford says, get a refund from Steam if you are not happy with Borderlands 4. Yeah, he said, please, if you're not, please get a refund on Steam if you're not happy with performance. He understands that, he's not handling the situation well, but he's like, listen, if you're not enjoying it, if it's not up to your, your standards, and, please get a refund. There's not much. I think that he should have said, we're obviously committed to fixing it. Hopefully we can fix it in time. If you don't feel like it's good or at your quality, or we're not fixing it fast enough, please get yourself a refund. That would have been perfectly fine. The fact that he said all this other crap, that's just going to come off as flippant. Like, we'll just get a refund if you don't like it. Like, just build your own engine if you don't like it. Like, please get a refund sounds good or bad depending on the context. He has set a context of antagonism, and it's like everybody's going to see that as just you being flippant. Well, just get a refund if you don't like it. If he would have been more, diplomatic and charitable about it, I think people would hear him saying that and have more respect for it. If he was like, we're committed to fixing it, we're sorry for those that aren't having a good time with it, and if you're unhappy with the status of the game, please get yourself a refund on Steam. YouTube will start testing a React Live to YouTube content feature next year. The content will allow you to go live on mobile and react to eligible YouTube content. Great. More live mobile features. If you join someone's game or load into your game and your skill points don't load in, don't quit. There's a progress killing bug. Played last night to level 10, logged in today to play and noticed my action skill was missing and saw my character has 0 points invested even though he's level 10. I definitely put points in the tree last night. Some realized it has to do with disconnections. They made the mistake of quitting the game after seeing their skill points missing, and they joined when they joined a multiplayer session and are now in mourning as their Eamon was robbed of all of his power. They continued PSA for Borderlands 4. If you join someone's game or load into your game and your skill points don't load in, do not quit. Alt F4 immediately. So kill the game. Force quit the game if you load into somebody else's game. If you load into somebody else's game and your skill points aren't there, then force quit the game. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a yikes. Daryl Gallagher announces his departure of Xbox with the wind down of Perfect Dark and the Initiative. Why does that name sound familiar? An incredible journey. My time at Xbox has come to a close with the wind down of Perfect Dark and the Initiative. Couldn't be prouder of the talented and passionate team that I've had the privilege to assemble. Together we set out to reimagine the iconic franchise, pour creativity, craft, dedication into it. The public reception and excitement was inspiring. While the chapter's ending sooner than I hoped, the spirit, talent, and achievements of the team. Long lost Oasis. Brother. He needs to leave the talking to the community managers that handle their social media. Yeah, like, I liked when Randy was just shooting straight with people and being honest. He's not doing that now. He's being combative. It's like, it's one thing to just shoot straight and be like, if your rig is below min specs, you're going to have a bad time. That's fine. That's honest. Fighting with people on Twitter, you look petulant and childish. Like, stop it. All the warning signs were there that the game wasn't ready for people and they bought it anyways. I don't agree that the warning signs were there for the average consumer. The average consumer saw cool trailers, a company that has a history of launching games at good quality. Like, I don't feel like past Borderlands launched and were like glitchy and buggy messes. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't think there was enough to say, oh, people should have known. Like, I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. Super plugged in people, you know, maybe. But I mean, again, I just think the Steam charts tell another story. Like, there's almost 200,000 people playing right now. You know? Yeah, Paul, I know that you and others who are super tuned in saw problems and saw potential problems. I don't think the average consumer should be required to do the level of analysis that we do here. Borderlands 3 had a bunch of problems on PC. That's, I guess, my fault for not knowing about that. $20 super chat from Bespoke. Sony is using the term state of play for all of its shows to eliminate this stigma that a state of play is something lesser. People always cry when they hear state of play instead of showcase. Calling all shows state of play will hopefully start to normalize it. I think that's a decent theory, that calling something a showcase was also setting like ridiculously high expectations. Like, they expected a 2-hour-long tour de force, and that's just not going to happen at a regular interval. There's not enough games coming out to do that. Late embargo, no target performance on the spec sheet, no pro enhancements, no tech analysis prior to launch. It's all there. The average consumer has a duty to be informed. Right, and the average consumer is going to go to the Steam page, Eugene. And they're going to see min spec, they're going to see recommended spec, and they're going to have a reasonable expectation of the game to run reasonably well on recommended specs. They should not have to be Sherlock Holmes. They shouldn't. They shouldn't have to like go and look for, well, did they promise me a certain performance at a certain threshold of spec? Did they promise me this? Did they promise me that? No, they went and checked min spec, recommended spec, and they're like, oh, I'm within the threshold. I'll be good. Like, I don't know. I don't think that consumers should have to do that level of investigation. Also, when there's almost 200,000 people playing on Steam right now, I would say a good chunk of consumers have figured out a way to have a perfectly fine time with the game. Users should also see the mixed reviews. I'm not 100% on board with Eugene, but it's not like the info is hidden. Yeah, at this point, anybody buying the game on PC knows what they're signing up for. For sure. Yes. It has a 66%. Yes, you know, yeah, I'm signing up for something that's probably not going to run that well. Yes. That, I think, is fair. I don't think in the lead up to the marketing, expecting the average consumer to read through the tea leaves and deduce like, oh yeah, it's an Unreal 5 game and they haven't shown enough console footage and, you know, my super perceptive eye can tell that they've not really shown a 60 FPS footage. You know, I don't expect the consumer to go out and do all that research. We engage at such a degree of being informed. I don't expect the average consumer to do this. I don't think consumers should ever be in any way blamed for this type of thing. Like, well, you should have known better. The signs were there. It's like, no. Borderlands for PlayStation Store. Let's see what the users on PlayStation are giving it. A 4.2. I mean, it's got an 84. You know what I mean? Like, again, I think the average consumer probably also doesn't even notice some of these major issues. You know? I didn't do a ton of research. The embargo and lack of tech analysis was enough. And you were able to get that information at a breakneck speed because you hang out in a YouTube channel, Eugene. The average consumer doesn't have that information like that. You were like, yep, that's concerning. You got like a snapshot, like an instantaneous snapshot because you have access to things that, well, not that they don't have access. They just don't engage. You know what I mean? Yeah, we already talked about the intergalactic news. It doesn't have a great score on Xbox. It has a worse score on Xbox. Now, the Xbox score includes console and PC, usually, I think. Those warning signs are almost always instructive. I know. And I'm going to continue to say that the average consumer isn't doing that. They're just not. Yeah, I'm going to be streaming Borderlands. I need a quick break. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, and we're going to jump into some gameplay. Hit that like button on YouTube. Try to get us to 300 likes. I'll be right back. Okay. Let's shift gears, boys. And when you guys maybe campaign today, LOL. Drops. And when we go to a new segment like this, especially with gameplay, and you guys go crazy on the like button, that is exceptionally helpful. So try to help me out with that. Patch downloaded successfully, rebooting. Oh, there was a patch on PC. Okay. We're hoping that the inclusion of more gameplay on both channels just helps us to meet more people, get more folks into the community. It's obviously, you know, a delicate balance of trying to do talk show uploads coverage in addition to gameplay. Like, we're spinning a lot of plates. My Tsushima script is very close to being completed, which means I can start working on recording. That has been a bit of an undertaking. So, all right, so we're going to go. I left the member count over there, so I should be able to come over here, and I think I'm about that size so that I'm not in the way of any of the HUD. Okay. All right, I'm putting a link in chat for you guys on YouTube. Even if you just come over and hang out and lurk, it is super helpful to me. Let me actually just get into the game. Especially if you guys go over, lurk, and hit like and all the things. I'm going to drop 5 members over there once we're up and running that I owe you guys.
8 out of 10 cats wish they were you.
That's right. Okay. Oh, it looks like we could go a little bit lower, honestly. There we go. Yeah, we can go a little bit lower. We can hang out right here. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you're watching this, I'm trying to bring more gameplay to my YouTube channel. So we are going to continue my playthrough of Borderlands 4 gameplay. Now, we may get to the campaign today. I don't know. I've just been thoroughly enjoying clearing the map and having a really good time doing it. And it's just been a good time. I'm a huge Borderlands fan. I am playing on PC. I am playing on a pretty strong rig. I know there's a lot of performance problems. I know Randy Pitchford's making everybody mad on Twitter. That's seemingly his part-time job in addition to being CEO. So hopefully he can chill out, and hopefully they can get the optimization, you know, better and patched. I downloaded a patch just a second ago. So make sure as you guys come over, I'm going to redirect you from the previous show.